Hello, my friends and family around the world. This is Lada from AstroLada.com. And coming up to the new moon in Pisces, I have invited an incredible addiction therapist, psychic, and psychotherapist, Mary Ann, who is part of the AstroLada team. Hello, Mary Ann.
Hi, Lada. It's so lovely to see you after such a long time.
I'm so excited to be here with you, especially because the topic of addictions is very powerful during the new moon in Pisces, because Pisces symbolizes the desire to escape, to have an instant relief, to escape the mundane, the boring, and of course, addictions start this way. And it's a painful topic. I've struggled with addictions all my life, from food to drugs and alcohol and cigarettes and whatnot. So this is a
So
very
have I. So have I.
oh,
Yes.
okay. So you've experienced that, so you're really qualified.
Yes. And I don't think you can really do this work unless you've come from that trauma, that's causing these triggers all the time. So, yeah, it's taken me a long time. I'm going to be 59 this month. I'm a Pisces too.
You're gonna be
Yeah.
59. Wow, you're looking great. You're like
Yeah. No kids, no kids, no husband.
is that the secret?
I think so. I don't know.
It's
I
all
just say
human.
so.
You don't age. Incredible.
Thank you. I think it's my genes. I've got like Scandinavian, German, Australian, Kiwi. Yeah, I'm quite a bunch there. Yeah.
And you told me something. Can you mention there is huge floods now where you are? You are even evacuated.
Yes. I'm in Brisbane. Got evacuated yesterday. The alarm went at 4:30 in the morning. It was just horrific, and the water had come in under the apartment building, so all the electrics went out. I mean, I'm the least probably harmed. I mean, I'm evacuated, and I won't be able to go back in there for weeks and weeks. But so many people have lost their homes. You just have to Google Australia, Brisbane, Queensland, you'll see devastation everywhere. 9 people have lost their lives. And I said to the people in the foyer, I was trying to perk them up, and I said, I'm just grateful I'm not in Ukraine.
That's
There's always someone worse off. So that sort of, shut them up a bit. I don't know. That sort of made them, yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I guess that's
Mm.
another manifestation of the coming new moon with Jupiter in Pisces and the floodings. That's what Pisces and Jupiter expands everything, and Neptune is there.
Yes.
So it's we're jumping from one situation to another. It's crazy here again. But let's focus
Yeah.
on addiction. What would you
Yeah.
define addiction? It's not just substances, is it? It's everything.
No. I think it's when the nervous system has an overwhelming feeling that it needs to be soothed instantly. And so whether that be online shopping, goodness, I've helped people with everything from cocaine right through to pornography. And I noticed they all have a slightly different trigger. Like smoking is a lot about control, trying to gain control, so you can gain control like doing this. Alcohol seduces the nervous system. I noticed that a few men I've coached with pornography, when they have a very dominant wife and they feel they can't control the situation, so sex is power, the base chakra, so they get addicted to that. But it's just
Warning
incredible.
to all the fire women there, to all the strong fire. Well, I think
Yeah.
it's fascinating because before we started, I was thinking, what in astrology shows addiction? In astrology, we say Neptune is addiction only, the desire to escape. But I've seen, because I've looked at charts of many people with, especially substance addictions, and it's not Neptune always. Majority of cases, it might be a difficult aspects from Uranus, because your nervous system, you're nervous and you're easily bored. Another thing is difficult Mars aspects to the sun or moon, because then you stress very easy again, and you're very spontaneous. You need this immediate, something to calm down this anger. Or Saturn hard aspects, because you don't feel enough. You feel inadequate. you feel you're not good enough, you feel depressed. So there are different reasons for addictions.
Yeah, and I also noticed Scorpio moon. I'm Scorpio moon, and if you have Aries ascendant, and I'm not an astrology expert by any means. I'm into numbers and things, but I notice I'm on the cusp of Aries, or it can swing to one degree in Taurus, and Uranus is in Taurus. So this is why I'm bringing all this work out so much. I think it's so important.
Vedic astrology says Scorpio is connected to addictions because of the obsessiveness and compulsion. And by the way, Mary does a whole session, not session, it's a whole course on stopping addiction, isn't it?
Yes. And so I think that it's the process that I take people through over a period of weeks, and it's just the grace that I see in people's eyes, and how quick that they are releasing. Because when you try and stop, give up, let go, the body goes into trauma. So whatever depression is there, whatever loneliness is there, whatever the reason you're trying to self-soothe yourself, unconsciously it comes up and you feel awful. So it's very difficult when you just try and stop. So I recommend nobody stops when they start this process. We do come to an end date, but we prepare the conscious mind, we prepare the nervous system, we have really gentle, powerful processes so that they have more ability to reason with that trigger that comes up. And we clean the triggers up with EFT and quantum healing anyway.
This is fascinating what you said, because I said it's very easy for me to stop. Like I've struggled for years with drinking, and I'll be a binge drinker. And I said I've stopped many times, but staying stop is the hard thing. And I've stopped many times, but I was not prepared mentally. I would just wake up with a bad hangover and I say, no, enough. But what you do is you prepare first to shift the mind, and then it won't be so hard, because for me it would last a few weeks, and then again, binge prioritization. And what you do is you first change the perceptions.
Yeah, absolutely. So I do a process in psychotherapy called it's almost like assessing, and I have this association process. So let's say I'm working with a group, because group therapy is so valuable, because everyone's pinging off each other going, oh my God, I thought I was the only one. And the first thing we're dealing with is the unconscious mind. So we ask a question. It could be, and it's really fast around the Zoom group, so I'll get someone to ask that person with their first name, because if they don't say their first name, the first name brings up the child. Like if you said, Marianne, tell me why you self-soothe, I'd be like,
I hear you.
I don't know. Tell me, Marianne, why do you self-soothe? Well, because I'm stressed. Okay, and then I will say, tell me, Lada, why do you self-soothe? Because I like to party.
Yeah.
Tell me, because so and then you go to the next person, the next person, the next person, and while they're doing that, I'm writing all the dialogue down, and of course it's coming from their unconscious. And then we'll go around the next question and the next question, which you'll learn if you want to take a course. And it's just amazing to me. And everybody it has these awakenings, like, I didn't even know why I did it. I knew it was a habit. I know and then we'll go around, tell me, Lada, what don't you like about it? Oh, blah, 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 blah. And then we go to the next question. So I've got a couple of pages in one session of things people have never acknowledged. And then, we take out this idea of habit, and we take out this idea of because I can't stop. Mm-hmm. Because if I can stop and somebody else can stop, and it's when the nervous system is prepared fully so that you have enough, I call it like a bandwidth. If you grew up in a family that your nervous system was shocked a lot, or you felt neglected, or you felt you weren't supported, you're going to be stressed and have anxiety very quickly. And so we're blessed to have alcohol and drugs and all of these things available for us. But is that who you want to be and live your life? So I've got to the point now I can enjoy, you know, there's a thing in alcohol therapy that says if you can't stop at 3 drinks, then maybe you need to look at it. So, and it's so nice to stop at 3 drinks and know, you know, I'm a bit tiddly after 3 drinks, but I don't have to have, you know, 6 drinks or more.
The obsession, the obsessiveness.
Yeah. The no turn off button. Yeah. So, and then there's a part of that once you learn how to master your addiction, and then you have a choice. Like I've even been out and had a few drinks and stood next to smokers, and I thought, oh, I wouldn't mind a cigarette, and have 1 cigarette, and then I don't have another one for as long as it takes.
That would be a dream, you know. But
yes,
aren't some people all or nothing? I always thought I'm all or nothing.
That's how we're programmed.
If I stop smoking, drinking, but if I drink, I want to smoke, and I want to drink 2 bottles of wine, and it's like, how is that possible to become from one?
Yes.
Really?
Absolutely. And because we haven't been trained that way, we live in this duality, right, wrong, good, bad, up, down. You do it or you don't. But what if we could be more like the bamboo instead of the oak tree and be really flexible and be in flow and think, actually, no, I don't want a cigarette. Or I think I'm just going to have a couple of drinks and go home. Or I don't really want to have a drink. You know, I mean, to have this sense of self preservation or the ability to reason with yourself, I think is the gap. Because in addiction, or what they call addiction, is, you know, the stress of trying to do something every day to calm yourself down in some way. But what if you could expand on that and say, my nervous system's pretty good. But we also in these courses anchor in, I use neuro-linguistics programming for this, and anchor in a new neural pathway. So you can get to the point where you've expanded so much, you have the ability to have a choice. And that's something I don't think, I mean, if you look at AA, NA, GA, all of those A's, it is affirming the addiction, instead of, imagine if they stood up there and said, I'm alcohol free, not I'm an alcoholic.
Absolutely.
And I think times have changed where we've got so many more tools, and it's really about your frequency. So if we can get out of that old thought pattern and really expand out, it's liberating.
Fascinating. Well, one thing that people that have tried stopping, and they stop maybe for a month or 2, but there is this total lack of fun, lack of enjoyment. It's called Anhedonia. And a lot of people, they're afraid to even try stopping because they feel life will never be fun. Because I had periods I would stop for 5 months, 3-4 months, and nothing was really enjoyable. Honestly, things that normally when I would have a drink, I would enjoy, I did not enjoy them. I felt like blah, meh. And that made me scared at the times to even try, because it's like this kind of meh, great life. When does this go away, or how do you overcome this anhedonia? How long does it last?
Well, it doesn't have to when you do this process, because one part of the course that we look at is, where is your life empty? What are you trying to fill? You know, because the fulfillment of letting go, having joy, just, you know, being free. So maybe there's a part of that has to be fulfilled. What makes your heart sing? How can you have this joy without having to have alcohol? I remember years ago when I gave up alcohol for like a few years, I know what you mean, but I was in pure bliss. You know, all as I did was focus on my frequency. But what I noticed is I was making other people feel uncomfortable who were drinking. And I remember when it got to one of my birthdays and I thought, oh my God, I'm going to have this party. I better see if I can still drink. And I had one wine. I think I was off my nut. But the point is, you can decide once you do these courses. And if you just look at your site, I've just booked another 3 different time zones. And it's one's for smoking, I think, and vaping, and another one's for alcohol. And then I've got a group one. You bring all of your addictive self, right? So some people are addicted to sugar, binge eating, especially when they're anxious. I had a huge group with you a couple of years ago, but the beauty of this time, I only want like 10 people per group. And so that everybody gets to experience everything in the most expanded way, because otherwise I can't connect to everybody, right?
I like the idea of what you're saying, because the thought of never, for example, having a drink again, or your favorite, whatever, it's so daunting. While you say, well, you can get to a point where you can have one, and maybe even the person will not want it, but just to bridge that gap, that fear, that, that
yes,
daunting idea,
yes,
never. And
yeah. So it was really interesting. On Sunday, I think it was, I had my UK group, and they were at week 3, and the questioning was around, where do you need to fulfill your life? Because you got to understand that your smoking or vaping is like the adult dummy, and it's also you're either avoiding something, avoiding a feeling, you're perhaps self-sabotaging in a way. And so we got everybody's reasoning about where they had to fulfill their life, and it was all around connection, relationships, work, all sorts of things. And then I said to them, what can I tell you what is the risk by doing this without a cigarette? And they were confused. And I said, so what if I told you there was only 20% risk that this was going to be really hard? Would you take it? Oh, yeah. What about 30%, 40%? And I got them right up. And then we did this amazing meditation that I was so gracious to witness afterwards, their feedback. It was just a mind blown. And I'd never actually ever channeled that meditation before. It just came straight through, and it was only about 10 minutes, and oh my goodness, they were just in awe. So was I, because I use my gift when I'm doing this with psychotherapy. So
you're also you're a psychotherapist, qualified, and a psychic. And
yes,
so you use scientific methods, psychological, and you use spiritual methods and meditation.
yes,
to get people to that space in their mind where they think it's possible, even enjoyable, to be free from an addiction.
yeah.
The biggest thing I've seen, I heard, is that people think it will be too hard, or life will not be enjoyable without that.
Absolutely. And it is in the current modality of stop, just stop, give it up. And I mean, this is your best friend you're letting go of. Mm-hmm. This is your friend that makes you feel good. Why would you want to give it up? So we've got to outweigh the risk and the rewards. And it's just old programming. But when if you look at Neptune, it's an illusion. And so most people are kidding ourselves that cigarette's making us feel good.
Mm-hmm.
When it's actually on one level, yes, but on the other level, it's a filthy thing that's harming. So there's many, many ways, and it's just about bringing that attention to new awareness. And I'm just so grateful so many people are doing it, because they're getting so many benefits. And I had one lady from the UK that wanted to repeat it. She's doing the second round now. So it was four weeks for the smoking and vaping one, and everyone in the American group stopped.
Really?
And yeah, I had one really amazing lady. She was like a pack 30 a day, and she just thought she'd never be able to, and got to this. By the 3rd week, you're noticing some big changes. They all give their share about how their week was. And yeah, but it's all in the time. I would never recommend, well, you've done your 4 weeks, that's it. but everybody in that group stopped. And then this one, one lady wanted to carry on. She said, I just want to do it one more time. I want to go to a deeper level, just so I make sure I'm, you know, really nailing it. So it's just amazing, Lada. You just love it.
What's most important is that this process can help people relieve the desire or the association that this thing is joy or fun, and it's very hard to do this on your own. You know, I have so many books, so many, it's like so many meditations and whatnot, and still sometimes it's hard, you know, but it's this consistent process of 4 weeks where you rewire your brain, how you think about it, how you feel about it, and it makes the stopping easier, because most people try and stop with willpower, and it works for some of them, but it's so hard, because how many times do you really have strong willpower?
And when the will wants to smoke, or the will wants to, because, you know, the first thing is to recognize currently when they come to the course that a part of them wants to stop, but they really love it.
Yeah.
Right. So how do you let go of that? But just the fact they show up and go through this process, by week 3, the finding the true essence of their own self-worth above it. They value themselves more than alcohol. They value themselves more than smoking or drugs or whatever it is.
So then you don't use so much willpower in that case.
Correct. You don't, it's nothing to do with that. It's to do with your whole nervous system, your structure. Now tell me, Lada, I wanted to ask a question. How does Saturn in this month play out with addiction? Because isn't that a good, helpful thing?
Because Saturn allows you to have perseverance and to follow routines daily, small routines, and to work every day a little bit on. But I've checked many charts when people stop drinking, smoking, and such things. I often do research and I ask people, give me a date of when you stopped, and they even put their chart and with the transits. And it's always Saturn is involved, and outer planets, Uranus, Pluto, Neptune, for some reason, because they shift consciousness. This year, Saturn is extremely powerful because it's in its own sign, Aquarius, where, because it's in Aquarius, Saturn can see the long term. A person, when Saturn is in Aquarius, people can see the long term and dedicate themselves to consistent effort because some long term goal or vision of theirs. So this is very good position this year, and last year as well was, and the year before that when Saturn was in Capricorn, for stopping any kind of addictions, because Saturn is very strong.
Yeah. So this is more, I encourage people.
Powerful because Saturn will have a lot of conjunctions with Venus, with Mercury, with we'll have a conjunction also with Mars towards the end of the month, or towards the start of April. So it's all about new beginnings, Saturnian new beginnings, of the power to say no. This is Saturn, and the power to So when are you starting these classes?
One starts, I think, Sunday, and then the big group starts, I think, mid-month. But just go to your site under Marianne and you'll see, we'll put a link in the description, I guess, but you'll see all the different time zones and dates. I've tried to do as many as I can because you motivated me. I heard you say, I'd already started some at the beginning of the year, and they were getting just so, I mean, I was even, I know it sounds funny, but I was just so blown away at how quickly people were dropping their habits. And then I heard you say on the March videos that this was the perfect time. And I thought, oh, that's fantastic. I've just launched a whole lot of them in March. Yeah. So that was really helpful.
Fantastic. And that's the season of Pisces, which is all about overcoming this escapism tendencies or dealing with them. And Jupiter is in Pisces, bringing clarity and higher knowledge. And because Jupiter brings you this illumination and light in Pisces, Pisces is our self-sabotaging, our unconscious choices. So that's why it's addiction. So Jupiter brings this knowledge this year, while Saturn brings the perseverance in Aquarius. So this year is extremely good for such kind of
and I also learned off you a while ago, Aries is in my 12th house. So that's addiction in the 12th house. So there's that Aries that wanted to party all night when I was younger. And so, yeah, out drink everybody. And it was like, what's wrong with people?
Well, it has preserved your looks.
Yeah.
Jar, like pickled in a jar. I don't think that's it, but
Yeah.
Sorry about that. So if anyone would like to contact Mary, you also do private readings, private consultations, psychic readings as well.
Yeah.
I'll put the link below for Mary's contacts and a link to the groups that you're starting for addiction. You said you use also EFT tapping, emotional.
Yeah, the thing that the beauty of the EFT I do is I break down all the beliefs, the unconscious beliefs. Instead of tapping on the idea of addiction, we're tapping on the cause, the root causes. And then I even do the Ho'oponopono prayer around certain tapping points, which is unbelievably powerful. And everyone gets tools to take home during the next week to practice. And I think that's most powerful as well. And we do attention training, how to retrain the mind to focus on the reason. It's really, really easy. It's the best thing I've ever been able to offer, I think, because it's been my biggest struggle all my life too. And so if I can do it, and I was addicted to drugs, gambling, alcohol, cigarettes.
You're a hot mess.
Yes. And that was coming from, really chronic trauma as a kid. But now I can see, there was a saying years ago, it's not done to you, it's done for you, so you can do the good work. Yeah.
Can you tell me what's the feeling of freedom? How does it feel on the other side of that bridge when you're free from all compulsion?
Well, I think the biggest one for me was gambling. When I was very young, I had a big corporate business and I used to earn thousands and thousands of dollars. And the casino opened and I was at the height of my drug addiction as well. And I was doing so much spiritual work and corporate. I was just overloading and I was so overwhelmed, and I had no self-value, honestly, for so many years. And I used to go to the casino and I used to win lots of money and I used to lose lots of money. And I remember one month I was doing about $1,000 a day.
Wow.
And I just took myself, and then I stole some money out of my husband's card at a bar, and that was the biggest shame. I had to confess the next day. And then I went to see the head of the gambling association. I only took one visit, and I looked at this man who had millions to nothing. And I just thought, I'm giving my power away to this idea. And it's supposed to be the most intelligent addiction, because most women or people with businesses have the highest stress, and it's the biggest buzz you can get is to win or something. But that was my biggest relief, to let go of that overwhelming anxiety where I had to go and gamble to get my buzz to calm me down. And there was a time with drugs that was like that too. So the liberation is just, I can walk through a casino, I have no interest. If anything, I can feel bad for people, and I can see the entities around them as well.
Oh, so it's true that there are many psychics say that there is dark entities that feed off and feed the addiction.
Yes. Yeah. And alcohol is, you'll notice even alcohol, because it unbalances the chakras. And so entities can hook in really, really quickly, especially if you're a light worker. And most light workers are also very empathetic. So they feel, negative energy very quickly. So it will draw in. And most, coaches and a lot of light workers I coach are very sensitive, and they have a lot of addictions.
This is crazy, because that's why I stopped 2 years ago doing readings, because after readings I needed to have a drink, because I felt like all the feelings of the other person. I worried for them. I couldn't sleep worrying for their problems, and I was drinking a lot, and that's what helped me stopping actually doing one-on-one readings.
Yeah. And it's amazing because you're picking up, I can feel really anxious about sometimes half an hour before a client. I'm thinking straight away, I know I have to decord. Straight away, I know I have to return to sender. I can feel it. And they come on and they're terrified and, you know, all of these things. And it's not mine. So I think the stronger the light worker's energy, the more you're going to pick up on other people's vibrations as well. So that's the first thing, is to elevate first thing I do is elevate everyone's frequency through rituals when they do their process with me. I can feel entities flying around the Zoom call, you know.
All the addicted entities around. I remember I knew a very good psychic, and he was telling me about people that are having random sex, like one night stands, how you can pick up an entity sexually, and for example, it can give you depression, or it can give you sexual addiction, and even through sex and through drinking sex, all this kind of obsessive thoughts where like you can't think about anything else. And the only way to starve it is to cut it off, or somehow raise the vibration, like you said, either to cut source of food, or to raise the vibration so it escapes. And but what I really like that you said is that there is, because a lot of addiction specialists, they say, oh, once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. And some people that stop drinking or smoking for years, they say that they still constantly miss it. And I'm like, this is so depressing,
because they haven't healed. They haven't healed the cause. The cause is either loneliness, depression, past grief is a massive reason people smoke. If you look at the lungs, it's about taking in life. It's about grief. And I remember when I first stopped smoking years ago, I would just cry all the time, right? And someone would say something and I'd cry. It was like I hadn't cried for so many years. It was just all bottled up, you know, because smoking stuffs the feelings down. But one thing I was going to tell you, when you go out and you're having a great time, it happens to me, and you might be drinking, and some guy is projecting sexual energy on you and you're unaware of it. You will go home and that entity has come in, and you will be horny as anything for ages the next day and wonder why you're obsessing over it, you know. Often it's not you, but there's a decording prayer that I do. I'll send you a small, it's only about 1 minute. If you practice the decording prayer every time you feel uncomfortable or something, all of a sudden you were okay and then you're feeling angry, and the decording prayer will release it straight away. I do it about 50 times a day because I see so many clients, so decording all the time.
Decording. I heard decoding. It's decording, cutting a cord with someone. So what I really love to hear is that you said there is a way that you go on the other side and you don't miss it anymore and you don't crave it, and that there is freedom and liberation. You're not like constantly obsessing it, but still white knuckling it. You're just free. You don't think about it.
Yeah. So look at it like this. When we deal with what are you really craving that you're using the cigarette for, or using alcohol's not really about craving. Alcohol is about seducing, letting go, you know, having, you know, just being free. And so where are you not free? So we deal with all these parts of your life as we go through the weeks of the course, so that you're releasing all this stuff. And when you get to the end of it, you're neutral. And then we've got to change. We do practices of certain behavior. So instead of getting on the phone and having that cigarette, or you know, going to a party and taking 2 bottles of wine, you know, you don't have that desire. You might take a low alcohol but your joy, we've got to find your joy in your body, in your mind, in all of these things. And so when we heal all the past hurts, the unmet needs, especially the depression, and especially the neglect, and especially when your nervous system has been fraught with I'm not enough, and we heal that, you just want to go and do all sorts of new things, you know.
You have natural high then. You don't need the
Yes.
energy from, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, this is fascinating. How much is the course?
There's a couple of different ones. I've made it really reasonable. I think the 4-week smoking one's about $98.
Yes.
That's for the whole 4 weeks. And then
how many times per week? Is it once per week?
1 hour per week on Zoom, and I only have small groups so that we have really deep connection. And I think the big one for all addictions about $120, I think, for 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah, because it's a process. And by the time that's up, you're ready, you're so excited, you know.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mary. Let's hope.
Marianne, you always call me Mary. That was my evil stepmother.
Oh, because there's hyphen, so I thought it has to be the whole.
I know. That's an American thing, I think. I'm an Aussie thing, so it's Marianne, all one word.
I don't want to be your evil stepmother. I don't want to trigger past pains.
Yeah, exactly. Be good. Yeah.
Thank you
all
so
right,
much, Marianne. And I hope things. I hope we can get back to your place soon enough. And
yeah. I think I might have to go down to Melbourne to some friends, because it's going to be several weeks anyway before I can get back into my apartment, because the whole electrics are out, the basement's flooded, the reception everywhere. So yes, so I'm in a nice hotel right now, but we'll see how we get on. But once again, I've got it easy compared to most.
Thank you again. And anyone who'd like to join Marianne, I'll put links below. You can contact her, have a reading with Marianne, or participate in the Quit an Addiction groups that she's starting this March. Thank you so much.
And some people, just to close, have come to me for the therapy session one-on-one, because they don't want to be on Zoom with others. And I've done that with a few people with cocaine and pornography. They don't want to be in a group. So I do one-on-one private. So yeah, whole different price, but it's worth it. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Well, the price of removing a desire for addiction is, I don't think there is a price on that, because addiction is nightmare. You're trapped in it's literally a prison. That's why it's the 12 house prisons, and self-made prison. And when the door of the cage is open, but you're still staying there, so there's no problem. Thank you so much, Marianne. Have a great month, and hopefully many people help heal many people.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much.